Hey, buddy. You good?
Hey, I didn't. I thought
What's
30 second
we're
getting
good.
ready to rock and roll.
Huh? Look, guys,
Man,
it's
sorry.
been a while.
I was trying to tweet us out.
Oh, you're good, man. It's been a while, but me and Blake talked, and we are we needed to do a video, especially with everything that's going on, what's getting ready to happen, um, what happened on Twitter the past 3 or 4 days.
I
We
mean,
had a
dude,
we had
there's
a
so
Twitter
much going
movement.
on.
There is so much going on. Before we go into it though, don't forget, please subscribe, share, review this, send us your comments. We want to hear from you guys. Like I said, we kind of took a
For
break
sure.
for a while, and we're uh, we're one game away from something that's going to hopefully happen tomorrow. That will happen tomorrow, and then we got basketball. We got other shit happening. So me and Blake, like I said, we wanted to come
Dude,
on here and talk a little Alabama sports in
dude,
general.
what a time to be alive as an Alabama sports fan. I mean, we're going through the ups and downs of basketball right now. Alabama getting ready to play for another national championship. Dude, I'm freaking stoked. I mean, I know we got kind of a bit of a letdown we got to talk about, but in basketball. But other than that, what a time to be alive right now.
It's definitely exciting right now. Definitely
Right.
exciting time. I mean, we'll get into a lot of this, but let's kick off with what was disappointing the other night. Actually, last night, um, I woke up still today pissed off about it. I
Yeah.
don't know why the hell we can't beat Mizzou and Mizzou at Como.
It's
I mean,
it. It seems like we're cursed there, man. And I mean, I don't know if it's Mizzou. I don't know if it's the team right now just has kind of lost its mojo, doesn't know which direction it wants to go in. That's kind of what it looks like to me because this team came in looking hot. I mean, came in beating up on Gonzaga in
yep.
Seattle. I mean, I don't think anybody here expected that. Then beating Houston, and then all of a sudden it looked like an absolute train wreck going
Mm-hmm.
into Memphis. I don't, but Alabama basketball, they got to figure it out quick. JQ, Javon Quinterly, he's doing his thing. Shackelford's doing his thing. Our biggest issues right now are getting fouls in the paint with Charles Bediako and Noah Gurley. I mean, golly, Bediako will be in for 5-6 minutes to pick up 2 or 3 fouls and just absolutely throw off the rotation. It's terrible.
Do you know how many minutes he played Saturday? By the
How
way,
many minutes?
8. He
Oof.
played 8 minutes.
Man, that's rough.
8 minutes.
He's a guy that can really do a lot of good. And Gurley's also shown a lot lately. The guy can play some basketball. I mean,
Yeah.
he's at Alabama for a reason. But we just got to we got to play defense without fouling every single possession. If we can do that, that team is unstoppable.
I'll tell you, it, it's it's not a carbon copy of last year, but the past couple of games, we can't rebound the basketball. We're giving up way too many offensive rebounds. Um, Bediako should be a force. I mean, he hasn't been playing basketball, but I think 3 or 4 years. But still, I mean, he's a 7-footer. I think Noah Gurley. I mean, our leading rebounders in the game last week were J.D. Davidson and I think Quinterly.
Yep.
Now, I will say Juwan Gary has played pretty good lately. He's kind of been a spark. And JQ got a lot of shit last year for turning the ball over and not, he's coming off the bench. That man's been a stud this year for
Well,
us.
that's one thing JD Davidson's really impacted the game with is turning the ball over a lot. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure he had about 8 turnovers in the Missouri game alone,
Yeah.
just him. And he's one of those guys that just doesn't look like he's confident with shooting his shot. I mean, it doesn't look like he has a shot right now. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime he gets guarded, it's a wrap. He tries to
Yeah.
drive, gets shut down, then it's passed back out. So we
Yeah.
got to figure out what to do with JD for sure. But we better figure it out quick because we got the one loss top 10 Auburn Tigers coming into Coleman Coliseum Tuesday. And if we play like we did Saturday, we'll lose by 50.
Yeah, we'll get run out of the gym. We will get
Absolutely.
run out of the gym if we play like that. And you spoke about Memphis. Here's the thing about Memphis too. I'm not going to say they're not a good team. They're a good team. They are athletes. It's a bunch of athletes on that team, and all they did was play the best game of the season that they've played all year against us. They put everything together, and you know it seems to me we lose to shit teams and play good against better teams. You
Right.
know, we beat Tennessee, we beat Houston, we beat Gonzaga, but then we turn around and we lose to Iona, we lose to Davidson, which Davidson's okay. I
Oh
mean,
no, it's not bad either, but
no, I mean they're coached by Rick Pitino, so I mean, but this Missouri law, it was bad, man. They were 6-7. They were like 160th
they
in
were
Ken
one of
Palm.
the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country and
Yes.
absolutely dropped bombs on Alabama.
Um, Thanks, Steven. I seen you. He said, "Hey guys, glad to see you're all back again. Appreciate
Brandon
you,
said,
brother."
"What's up?" too.
Yeah, I sent him thing. What's up, Brandon? But yeah, I'm not worried about this team yet because we started off 4-3 last year. You know, and obviously we've been a little bit better this year. Everybody knows what we did in the SEC last year. I can't
Right.
remember exactly. I think we won 16 in a row or something. It was something fucking crazy like that.
It was nuts.
So I'm not worried about them. They just need to figure it out. I think defensively, they need to figure it out a little bit. And also on offense, they're kind of streaky, man. Like one game they'll start off real hot, and the next game they won't. I mean, for instance, Mizzou, we were down 9-0, and then within a barrage of a minute and a half, it's 11-10 us. You know what I mean? Like we can get
Right.
hot quick. So, but I think you're right. I think Gurley, Bediako, they need to be more of a presence. Gurley's great. I saw people talking crap on him that he should have stayed at Furman and blah blah blah. Look, we need him. We would have not won the Tennessee game without Noah Gurley.
For sure.
So let's basketball is going to be one of our main focuses going forward after tomorrow.
For sure.
But I'm not worried yet. Now we start losing 2-3 games in a row in the SEC, then I'll get a little worried. But I think Coach Oates will get it figured out for us.
For sure. I mean, you got Auburn coming up, and then we got games Mississippi State, LSU. Those are winnable games. LSU is another one of those very tough teams in a very tough SEC this year.
Yep.
And then 29th, we got Baylor coming to town, and then we go to Auburn. So, I mean, the schedule's set. If we can get big quality wins, we can have a very nice spot in March Madness come in the spring.
I think that's what Oates did too. He set up we have a good out of conference schedule this year too. You know what I mean? Going to Gonzaga, playing up there. Well, not there, but it was somewhat up there. You know, Houston, Baylor. I mean, those are Final Four teams from last year. All three of those teams that I just named are all Final Four teams from last year.
Yep.
So having a good out of conference schedule, and we've beat two of those teams already. We got to play Baylor still. Hopefully we can, if I'm not mistaken, Baylor, I don't know if they're number one anymore. I haven't looked at the polls in a week or so. But
Baylor is, and they beat TCU yesterday. Tough game. They were down for a little bit.
Yeah. So, but anyway, basketball was that was just a heartbreaking game yesterday. And I'm from Missouri. I will root for Mizzou every now and then. But it was a heartbreaking loss for me yesterday. I don't know. It hit me harder than like losing to Davidson. And I think
it was rougher for me because I had to eat Arby's after that.
The Arby's tweets were out.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Twitter, let's go ahead and talk about this Gump revolution going on too, because that's the best way to get over. If you don't stop hitting that banner,
you told me to control the goddamn banners.
Hey, language, Jesus, we got new Christian Gump followers in here.
No,
we might don't. Get a fit. You're right, we don't.
No, we don't.
They say they are, but
yeah,
Gump Twitter revolution has absolutely gone crazy, dude. I mean, it started with one tweet from Adam Will, who is probably now the most famous Gump of all time. He's always getting his tweets pulled for ESPN, CBS, all over the place. But man, one tweet literally united and inspired an entire fan base full of conservatives and liberals to come together as one with a freaking karate gi emoji.
Yeah,
dude, it's wild how fast this is blown up.
I'm gonna tell you what. I've got quite a few followers on Twitter, and I looked through my Alabama ones, and it's probably 4,000 or 5,000 Twitter followers from probably, I don't know, Friday. Let's just say Friday until tonight. Dude, I bet I've gotten 1,000 new just Bama people. You get random people that follow you on Twitter
Oh, dude.
that are sports people.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit because I
Yeah,
don't think you have that many followers. But
I've
I
got
mean,
11,000, but
sure. But Wednesday at lunch, I had 4,300 followers on Twitter, and sitting right now, I'm at 4,983.
can you
Oh,
read that?
did you buy all those?
I wish I did.
Wish I didn't.
How
Oh
many?
Lord.
What'd you have?
I got I had 4,300 on Wednesday at lunch. Now I
Yeah,
have 4,980.
yeah, 600. Yeah,
That's it's almost seven. It'll be 700 once it hits 5,000. But that's just
yeah.
absolutely bonkers how everybody just came together, and it
All I
took
did
one
was like,
tweet.
yeah, all I did was like go to my followers list, and everybody that had a karate emoji that followed me, I was just like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
I had to be a little more selective than the little boom, 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 boom because I mean, one guy that followed me, his picture was at the rally on January 7th or January 6th in DC. So couldn't do that.
Oh yeah.
I had to watch for the MAGA bios and all that fun stuff, but yeah, it was very interesting. The people that you'll find that come out of the dark for Gump Twitter. I mean, the Gump Twitter used to be a pretty low key kind of inside joke kind of thing, and now it is absolutely exploded into the Twitter sphere.
I mean, it was trending.
It's
It,
still trending. It's
it
been
still
trending
is.
It's been the number one trend in Alabama for the last 4 days, if that says anything.
It's just crazy.
It's bonkers. I mean, it's wild how fast a trend like that can catch on social media, especially one with a team like Alabama who's
Yeah.
getting ready to play for a 2022 national championship game. Bro, back at it. We're back to back. Here
Hey,
we go
hey,
again.
hey! Not bad for Nick Saban's worst team ever.
Our worst team ever, rebuild year.
I
I'm
mean, we've heard it
just
all, dude. We've heard it
literally.
all. We
And I
heard it
love
all.
that we're underdogs again, dog.
Yeah.
And you can't beat an Alabama Nick Saban team coming into a natty as underdogs.
No, I love it. Rat poison. You know what I mean?
It's the yummiest rat poison of them all.
Yummiest rat poison. I mean, we got a chance to go back to back with a team that wasn't supposed to be here, according to the experts, right?
Right.
Um, I'm not going to say I would have ever said that. I have total faith in any team that when Nick Saban's on the sideline coaching, I have total faith in our team. Um, you know, we added we added Bill O'Brien this year as an offensive coordinator. We added Doug Marrone on the offensive line coach. We had players lose. We had Devontae go. We had it might have been supposed to be a rebuilding year, but what's a rebuilding year at Alabama?
I mean, it's not. We don't reload. We
We
reload. We don't
reload.
rebuild. That's
Exactly right.
exactly it.
Yeah, we don't rebuild.
If you don't stop finishing my sentences for me, we're gonna have to fight.
Let's fight right now.
Nah, you got COVID pneumonia. I ain't trying to get that shit.
Not anymore.
Thank God.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of tired of just hearing about the worst team ever, and if this is the worst team ever, then I'll freaking take it, dude.
No doubt. I am a little worried though. I mean, we are playing our third string and fourth string corners out there
Yeah.
against some really good receivers and possibly the greatest tight end to ever play college football in Brock Bowers. I mean, this kid is a freshman, and I don't think he's stoppable. And I don't know if we have an answer at this moment how to stop him. Because Georgia did not utilize him as much as they could until near the end of the SEC championship game. What
Yeah.
do we do to stop Brock Bowers?
Well, you jumped the gun a little bit on me on that because that was one of my keys to the game was to try to contain him, and I was going to ask you the same damn question. So, you know, you are right. They didn't. Georgia didn't use him to his abilities till later in that game. I think. You know, if we play a lot of zone, it's going to try to keep the ball in front of us. You try to play him man. He's big and strong.
Fast.
I mean, he's fast too. I mean,
I
so
mean,
I don't know
dude,
what you
he
do.
doesn't seem to have a flaw.
Yeah, he's great blocking too. I mean, he's I'm trying to compare him. He's not our Jamison Williams, but he kind of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's impact players. I mean, that guy, if you can shut him down, I mean, don't look, Georgia has two great running backs too, and we did a hell of a job in the SEC championship of stopping the run.
Yeah.
Um, if you can somehow contain Brock Bowers, you have a good chance to win the football game.
Yep.
I don't know how we do that though, honestly.
I mean, I think that, like you said, that's a major key to winning that game, and we'll cover our keys to the
Yeah.
game. But there's just one question I think Nick Saban's probably been trying to rattle in his head for the last month: is how do you
Mhm.
stop possibly one of the greatest players in college football right now?
Mhm.
And I think it's going to take a lot. The defense is going to have to step up and make big plays at big times,
Yeah.
which is going to which is kind of leading into my keys to the game too. But another thing I wanted to touch on, we're out John Mechie.
Mhm.
He's on the sideline watching. The guys are
Mhm.
playing for him. Who's going to step up in his place, in your opinion?
Look, I said this at the beginning of the year, I think, and I thought Billingsley was going to be a big factor this year. Kind of got in the doghouse, with Saban at the beginning of the year. He's had some drops this year. I still think he can be a factor, but I'm going to go Ja'Cory Brooks, who kind of is taking his spot. Um, Here's the thing: they're going to key on Jamison Williams, right? Yeah, I mean, you've got to. Uh, so I think that Ja'Cory Brooks could step up and have a good game. Again, Slade Bolden, who's gotten a little bit of respect, had a good game against Cincinnati in the slot. But yeah, I think Ja'Cory Brooks, and if JoJo Earl, who was returning punts, he's muffed a couple this year, but that dude is lightning fast. If you can get him in
He
the open
is.
field, if you can get him in the open field, he can make plays. So, but I really think it's going to be Ja'Cory Brooks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Corey Brooks as well. I mean, the guy going into the Auburn game only had 2 catches and then had probably one of the prettiest snags for a game
Yeah.
tying touchdown that we've ever seen, other than maybe what Tua did in the Natty.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. AG Hall is another guy that's been put out there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've seen a lot from his Twitter account this year talking about kind of how he doesn't seem like he's very comfortable there right now. It'd be nice to see him get on the field and make some big time plays out of nowhere. It kind of
Yeah.
change the level of the game.
Yeah. Trayshawn Holden's another one too. I think if he could get some time in there, could be good. We've got we had a loaded recruiting class this year that
Yeah,
next year are going to probably get chances to play. So I think you're right, though. I think me and you agree. Ja'Cory Brooks is probably going to have to step up a little bit in Mechie's place.
for sure. I mean, when he gets called on, he's going to have to make big time catches, just
Yeah.
like Slade has later in the season. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Slade Bolden, everybody kind of sleeps on him and hates on him a lot
Mm-hmm.
because he's kind of a smaller white kid playing receiver at
Yeah.
Alabama. But the man comes out of the slot and knows how to make big time plays, and he
Yeah.
plays his ass off every single play.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what if it's going to him, he's blocking.
Yeah.
He's doing it all.
And I don't need him to stretch the field. I don't need him
No,
to go 50 yards. I need him to get first downs.
right. I need
Get
him to
10,
get
12
those
yards.
hard 4 or 5
Yeah.
yards that we need to set
Yeah.
up an easier play. Like
Right.
if you need a third and short, he's the guy on the second down that you can kind of trust on those bubble screens or on the slant. He's probably going to be open.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into our 3 keys of the game. Now, you already said one of your major keys of the game is shutting down Brock Bowers,
Yeah.
and then
Contain.
I kind of said something similar. But I think the first thing that it's kind of a 2-part system here. We got to keep the pocket clean, but at the same time, we got to destroy the pocket. Keep the pocket clean on the offensive side of the ball. We
Mm-hmm.
got to watch. Georgia did not bring a lot of stunts and blitzes in the SEC championship like they have most of the season. And that's how they've gotten pressure on a lot of teams and caused a lot of commotion in the backfield. Alabama's got to be ready for that. They got to be watching film, getting ready, because Georgia's defense front seven is nasty, man. I mean, Jordan Davis sitting there on the edge is an absolute beast, and he has the capability of being a big time impact player on that Georgia defense. It can make some big plays that could possibly win the game for them.
Yeah, I think I actually had O-line wrote down for us as one of our keys, and I put next to it give Bryce time and give pass blocking and run blocking. Give Bryce time, give B Rob holes.
Absolutely.
We've been criticized on the offensive line. That's probably one of the worst we've had this year, and it has been shaky. We've had people go down too. We've had to shift players over, had to play some younger guys. It doesn't discount Evan Neal's a top 5 pick this year, I believe, in the NFL draft. If not, he's a top 10.
I say he's top 5 easily.
Yeah, I mean, and we've got some other guys on that line that have stepped up and played well when we need them to. But I think you're definitely right. I didn't say defensively, but that's a good point. Our
Yeah,
front seven versus their front seven. You know what I mean? It's going to have to
absolutely.
kind
Is
of be both.
who can win in the
Mhm.
trenches
Yes.
the
Yes.
majority of the time. That's why I said
Mhm.
destroy the pocket. Our front seven's got to come in there and do exactly like they did in the SEC
Yeah.
championship game.
Yeah.
They have to put constant pressure on Stetson Bennett and
Right.
cause him to make mistakes.
Yeah. That's the thing. Who do you trust more when the pocket collapses? Do you trust Stetson Bennett or do you trust Bryce Young? You know what I mean?
I'm
Like
gonna take the Heisman winner overall walk on every
exactly.
single time.
As Kirby called him and all the Georgia guy, the gingerbread man. I heard they were calling him that this week. So
Absolutely. And with that, it kind of goes into my second key of the game. Young guys have got to make big time plays. Like we were talking about earlier, we got Kool-Aid over at corner. He's got to
mhm.
be able to, if George Pickens lines up in front of him, to know that there's a possibility that dude's about to try to run a fade on him and burn him
Yeah.
and disrespect him. And he's got to be ready for that. I mean, he's going to be called on to make big time plays. And I'm a little nervous, honestly, about our corner situation. Georgia's got
Yeah.
some really good talent out there, receiver and at tight end.
Mm-hmm. I my second, actually, this is technically my third because we talked about Brock Bowers, but contain Brock Bowers. So I'll say my third, and I just put secondary for Alabama. How are they going to play this? How are they going to play tomorrow, man? If we're getting pressure and their pocket is collapsing, obviously we won't have to worry about it as much. But if Stetson Bennett has time to throw or break out of the pocket and run, he's got wheels. Stetson Bennett can run the ball. He's
Yeah,
not
he can
like
move.
Deshaun Watson running or Bryce. Bryce doesn't like to run. Bryce can run. He doesn't like to run. But if we give him enough time in the pocket, our secondary in general is just going to have to play lights out football tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then my third key of the game: special teams gotta be special. There's been too many times this year throughout the season where Alabama has made little mistakes that could have cost them several different games throughout the year. I mean, you
Yeah,
talked about earlier with JoJo Earl muffing punt. I mean,
yeah.
you can't do that in this game, in this national championship game. You
Mhm.
got to be back there. You got to be confident. You have to watch the ball in. If there's not a play to make, don't try to force a play. That's the easiest way to make a mistake is shoot yourself in the
Mhm.
foot.
Are we in agreement that Jamison Williams should not be on special teams in this game?
Mm. I think
He
he
can get down
makes
the
a
field.
difference. I
He
think he
does
makes
make a
a difference
difference.
on special teams where he's one of
Yeah.
those guys who can get down there pretty damn fast and he's not afraid to hit you in the mouth.
Yeah. I just worry about that. You know what I mean? Getting a targeting call and he's going and he's
Yeah, I
done.
mean
So
that could have cost us earlier or later in the season as well.
yeah,
I mean, you saw the Auburn game. What happens when we don't have one of our best receivers?
yeah. I
It
mean,
gets rough.
but by the way, I know it's not a key to the game, but Jamison Williams was the best transfer athlete in college football this year.
Oh, easily. And I think speaking on that, I think Alabama already struck gold again for next year with
Yeah.
Jahlil Gibbs from
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, the running back. He's
Yeah.
going to be another one of those guys that's going to make an immediate impact, just like Jamison Williams did this year. I mean, I've never seen a guy that can move into a system, immediately pick it up, and make such a huge impact on the
He's
team and
yeah,
outcomes of games.
yeah, number one receiver on our team, man.
I mean, absolute stud. Shout
Yeah.
out Ohio State thought
Yeah.
he wasn't worth a shit because
Yeah.
man, y'all messed up on that one.
He couldn't even get on the field there.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that blows my mind,
I
dude.
know.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know what they saw or what they were thinking or smoking or drinking, but they need to lay off of it.
yeah, yeah. It was. I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, it was. Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you.
Right,
And
absolutely.
now he's going to be a first round draft pick.
Yep.
So there you go. Leaning into this, we're going to go what big time impact players of the game.
Yep.
We're doing one, right?
We're each doing one, and I'm gonna go with the offensive side of the ball. I know you're going defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got to be up front with Brian Robinson being able to run the ball and establish that run to kind of make Georgia start getting in that box and then leaving up gaps in the zone. It's trying to go man to cover some very, very fast and athletic receivers that Alabama has.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Brian Robinson can have a game, if he gets 150 plus, I think Alabama has a very, very, very good shot of winning this ball game.
Mm-hmm. 100% agree. You know, B Rob had a killer game
Get
against
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I mean, he set an Alabama record in a bowl game. If he can do that again, he didn't get in the end zone, but he did enough to, you know what I mean? I mean, he had 200, well, I can't remember, it was over 200 yards, but
204 yards.
yeah, I mean, if we can get 130 to 150 out of him and maybe try to get him in the end zone a couple of times, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, get the ground game going. And that kind of leans back to, one of my keys, our nears as well, was, the offensive line. Can they make holes for B Rob? And running back can only do so much. The whole line has to make holes for that man to be able to run through and block. So, yeah, I think that's a great pick. I'm going defensive side, and I'm going with the stud who didn't get invited to the
New
Heisman
York.
party. Yeah, Will Anderson, freak. If he was available this year to go to the draft, I don't know if he'd be number one. He might be. He might jump Aiden Hudson. I mean, first of all, let me just talk about that. So Will Anderson he had the second most first place votes at the Heisman, the second most behind Bryce, and didn't get invited. Whatever, that just boggled my mind. He was fifth in the voting, but how, if you compared the stats, and everybody did it, I saw it all over Twitter and everywhere. His stat, Aiden Hutchinson's stat, and this is not a blow to him or Michigan. I mean, he's a hell of a player. He's probably going to be one or two in the draft, but his stats weren't anywhere near what Will's were.
Right.
So, but leaning on Will, I just think if when Will is in the backfield and he blows by a lineman and he's wreaking havoc, and it doesn't have to be sacks, just when he's back there disrupting the pocket and the quarterback, he's a menace on defense. He's hard to control. He's hard for any defensive lineman to block. He's so quick off the ball. I mean, he's literally like a jet rock. I mean, he's like a rocket man coming off the ball, off the
Right.
snap. But I think if he can get in the backfield, cause some things, deflections, even just getting in the back and causing a little bit of disruption, and maybe make Stetson force a couple of passes or take a sack, maybe a fumble, something where we can maybe get a couple of turnovers. I got a feeling he's going to have a big game.
I really hope so. I mean, you hear his name a lot. You don't really see him necessarily getting sacks all the time. I mean, he's got 17 and a half sacks this year. I mean, he's very close to hitting that 20 mark.
Yeah.
But he's doing so much in the background as well. I mean, he's filling gaps, forcing guys to go different directions on plays.
Mm-hmm.
And that also makes a huge impact. And that's why he is a big-time impact player, especially on that defensive side of the ball for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to see. I'm hoping he breaks that 20 mark against Georgia. It'd be awesome to see, which is also awesome that we get one more year of him and Bryce.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful to think about. So, I mean, all in all, wrapping it up here with what we've talked about, I started thinking after you said the secondary, honestly, the secondary is what's worrying me in this whole talk of this game. It's our secondary.
Right.
How well are they going to step up and play? Are they going to live up to the hype of Alabama football, or are they not going to show up? I mean, they're going to show up. They're going to be prepared because Saban's going to have them prepared. But what are they going to do on the field once the clock strikes? You know what I mean?
Right. It's going to be interesting for sure. But when that clock strikes, there's going to be a score. So, Adam Raymer, at the end of regulation tomorrow night, hopefully we'll have to go to overtime again. What is going to be the final score between Alabama and Georgia in the 2022 national championship game?
Well, I don't think it's going to be as big of a gap as it was in the SEC championship game. Not gap. I mean, we won by 17. I don't think it's going to be that widespread this game. I still think it's going to be somewhat closer in that score. So I'm going to go 41-34 Alabama.
Sure, that's a lot of points.
I think it's going to be offensive, man.
I mean, it very well could be. I mean, we are playing the greatest defense of all time. Don't forget.
Yeah. Well, we've already
But
beat them once.
you're talking about that 17-point margin from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add a point margin to make it an 18-point margin. I'm saying the Crimson Tide comes out of Indianapolis victors 38-20.
Wow.
There will be no more dogs barking. They will be spayed and neutered. This will be an absolute annihilation.
I like it.
I love it. I want some
I
more
want
of
some
it.
more of it.
Roll Tide. Go Preds. I love it.
I like it. I mean, I think it's a good score prediction. I hope. I just think it's going to be a little more offensive. I don't know why.
And now that we both said they're going to be blowouts, so it's
Yeah,
going to be a close game.
yeah.
And probably Will Reichard's going to have to cement his legacy and Crimson history as the field goal to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a 10-6 game or something like that. There's going to be scores. I mean, there's going to be
Absolutely.
touchdowns.
I'm hoping that we can score more.
Hey, we just need one more point than them, man.
That's it.
Big game tomorrow. It's like a national holiday for us.
It is.
Alabama fans.
Everybody here is considering taking off work early. I mean, I guess got more PTO. My schedule just got cleared back up, so it's time to rock and roll.
All right, brother. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Man, I don't think that you got big plans to watch the game tomorrow.
I'm gonna hang at the house. I got a father-in-law who obviously he's a huge Alabama fan. He's probably listening or watching. He's gonna come over. My son's not gonna be here. He's up in Evansville finishing up his master's degree, so he's got 4 or 5 months left, and he's gonna be up there. So I'm gonna chill here, get some drinks, get some dinner, and hopefully watch these boys pull out another dub and get us another national title.
Here he's saying, I think we're going to grill out tomorrow. We got some friends coming over. We got one of my buddies just got married after dating a girl for 3 weeks, so I get to meet his new wife tomorrow. So that should be really interesting. Oh yeah, wow, that's another story for another podcast.
All right, man.
Well, it's going to be a fun one. Yellowhammers, homemade Yellowhammers tomorrow night. Look out for a blacked out Saucer on Twitter.
I might have to mute you.
I mean, I don't know. If I start going live tomorrow, it's gonna be all right. Look for me tomorrow and with Flacco on Bama Lounge live stream because if we might be here live, and if it's anything like last year, I will black out and I will get ugly.
All right, brother. It was great. We'll do a recap some point after Monday night, sometime during the week. But again, we appreciate you guys. You don't know how much we do appreciate you. Sorry for the little delay and time off. We kind of needed it. But we're back.
It's hard battling the Flurona and COVID pneumonia.
Yeah. Subscribe, share, review, send us comments. Blake will answer them, not me. Let's get pumped up for tomorrow.
Get ready for the Crimson takeover, baby.
Twitter going live. I mean, it's crazy. So
yes, sir.
We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next time. Roll Tide, brother.